Hello and welcome back. This is Grillenheimer. I think I've got this. I think I can explain this. Okay. If you haven't already tried figuring this out, I am trying to figure out how we can do a Unicron together for a homemade, unofficial, official version of Unicron. If you want to try this yourself, I'm all for it. If you want to steal some stuff from this, I'm all for it. The point is that this is what starts in game. This would be a total of 25 stars. It would fill, you wouldn't be able to have any stars. Attack of 7, health of 12, defense of 4. Attack of 0, health of 11, defense of 5 for the middle part. And the horns are identical. Now, I want some abilities over here, and I actually am thinking about like Pierce 3 for both of these sides here. Now that's the rub. When you start, you would want to tap this card last. But it needs to be in this alt mode. This is the only card that would flip. Because when you flip this to bot mode, we would see like part of the artwork for the head of Unicron. And it would negate Pierce for 2 defense turns. So you might want to do that first. The only problem is it leaves you vulnerable. That's why I had his defense high. I may make it higher, like maybe 6, and then 5 and 5. Whatever is going to go on here are going to be identical. I may even make the attack a little higher. I don't know. But I don't want to make it too strong, because if your other opponent can knock this part out, you can't create Unicron in his bot mode. They win. Okay, so you want to flip this to quote unquote bot mode. That's going to negate their Pierce for 2 defense turns. So we would flip this to bot mode, tap and attack, no Pierce on defense, no Pierce on defense. Flip this back, because if you flip this back, you're going to lose the negated Pierce for 2 turns. It has to still be in bot mode. So you might be able to negate the Pierce for 1 turn, let's say. So when it's your turn again, it's going to be, do I leave this here to be able to get a second turn to be able to have no Pierce on defense, or flip it back to alt mode, tap it, not allowed to attack, to be able to suck in a card to put underneath from outside the game. That would look like this. And once you are able to flip it back, so escape route would be great, rapid conversion, etc., because it would be alt mode and bot mode. Because Unicron does not have a headmaster. He is not a headmaster or Titan master. He's not a guardian. He's not a combiner. He has a bot mode and an alt mode. He's just big. So, with this in mind, we're going to be wanting to flip this a lot. So if you're flipping it back and forth, you're only going to be able to negate Pierce for maybe 1 turn, for 1 defense turn, for 1 of your horns, or even this middle part. Because this part has got to survive. That's why I gave it the least amount. 12, 11, 12, a total of 35. Total of 70 health for when he is together in bot mode. So you flip back to bot mode, negate Pierce for another turn. I mean, you're probably really not going to want to keep that in bot mode for 2 defense turns. Really. You really wouldn't want to, because you want to flip this back, get your second card in when you tap. Again, this doesn't attack, so you're 3 wide, basically 2 wide. These are your attacking characters or parts, so to speak. This you're flipping like he's trying to transform and sucking into himself. So when you have all your parts down here, and I'm saying 6, and yeah, his total star count would be 50, 25 in field, 25 out of field, and then flip him over, flip, 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 once you get all 3 parts in here. So it would take your 4th turn, if you're able to, you know, maybe not your 4th turn per se, but your after your 4th untap phase, after your 3rd untap phase, if you flip this enough and you've got all 3 parts down here, or all 6, however you want to do this, and maybe, you know, bring in, you know, flip to alt mode, tap to bring in a piece. It does not attack. To be able to bring in a piece. And once you have, and if you want to do it even bigger than this, this is my suggestion. And let me see here, because I've really been gauging everything based on, and here's, if you saw my previous video, which I don't think anybody has, these are all gestalts, all combiners and metroplex and whatnot. 737, I think that was Superion. 6 attack, 35 health. That's almost like Minosaur and Metroplex, I think. 656, that's Volcanicus. So, you know, here's some of their, well, crap, Volcanicus is 56. Oh, crap. Well, that's health. That's health. And I was giving Unicron 60 health. That's right, 60 health. Not stars, health. So he would have more health than Volcanicus. And to where he's like trying to transform, sucking in the parts to get enough parts to be able to flip. Once they are all in here and you go flip, 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 it makes the bot mode of Unicron, and he would have his own stats and ability. So how's that? I have been really, I think I like this better than what my initial video was sometime last summer or fall. So what about this? And that's all I've got to say about that. And yes, you can put upgrades on each of these parts, like normal bot and alt modes, even on here. But since this is not attacking at all, you wouldn't want to put weapons. You would want to put armors and maybe utilities or anything to help with defense. And that's a good question, guys. Which part? See, if one of the parts some of the parts get knocked out, that's fine, but not this part. This part has got to survive. Well, no, forget it. It's like a combiner. As long as you have one part, well, if you don't have this part, you're screwed. So yeah, they're going to go after this part. So that's why flipping to bot mode, flipping to both modes is extremely important. And since it's, well, daggone, since it is a flippability, depending on how I word this, or how we word this, when you flip to bot, it negates pierce for 2 defense turns. So even if it's flipped back to this mode, tapped and sucking apart, you would negate your opponent's pierce for 2 turns. Maybe this will work. Maybe he will have enough defense to last long enough to be created. Because 12, 11, and 12 seems low. But I'm really fighting and looking at combined, like I said, combiners and titans. Like Metroplex, Thripticon, all those guys. And how much their health total is when they're completed. So, yeah, that's 23. 23 and 12 is 35. And that is sort of the average for some the health of some of those guys. And I'm trying to double it, about that average, for Unicron's total health to be 70, to be twice that amount of a normal combiner. Gosh, it's late. My tongue's getting twisted. So does that make sense? Yeah, clear as mud. Well, I better go. I'm running out of time. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking here. And I'm coming up with more ideas than I am drawing or coloring. But my mind is just on overload on trying to get this to work, so we can have a Unicron. So with that, thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time. And always remember to flip out and let's roll for it.